Welcome back. Three dimes that might be hiding in your collection, or perhaps even in your pocket change, that could be worth thousands of dollars. I'm not talking about those lists of valuable coins that end up being worth just a few dollars over face value. These are the real deal, the unicorns of US dimes that have sold for staggering amounts at auction. So check your collection, your change jars, and maybe even between your couch cushions. You might be sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it. The 2004 Wisconsin State Quarter with the extra leaf error. Let's start with our first coin, the legendary 2004 Wisconsin State Quarter with the extra leaf error. This isn't just any state quarter. It's one of the most famous modern coin errors in U.S. numismatic history, and it happened right in plain sight. Back in 2004, the U.S. Mint was deep into its 50 state quarters program, which had begun in 1999 and was, by all accounts, the most successful coin program in American history. When it came time to produce Wisconsin's quarter, featuring a cow, a wheel of cheese, and an ear of corn, something unusual happened at the Denver Mint. Some of the quarters emerged with what appeared to be an extra leaf on the corn stalk. In fact, there are two varieties of this error, the low leaf and high leaf versions, where an additional corn leaf seems to curl either downward or upward on the left side of the corn. These weren't supposed to be there according to the original design. Now, what makes this error so fascinating is the ongoing debate about how it happened. Some numismatists believe this was a deliberate die alteration, perhaps done by a mint employee. Others think it was an accidental die gouge that just happened to look like a leaf. The U.S. Mint has never officially acknowledged exactly what happened, which only adds to the mystique. You can identify these error coins by carefully examining the corn stalk on the reverse side of the quarter. On a normal Wisconsin quarter, there are two leaves, one pointing left and one pointing right. On the error coins, you'll see what appears to be a third leaf either curving up or down on the left side of the corn. In terms of value, these coins have been financial windfalls for lucky finders. In uncirculated condition, a Wisconsin extra leaf high quarter can fetch anywhere from $150 to $300. The extra leaf low variety typically commands similar prices. But here's where it gets really interesting. At specialized coin auctions, particularly choice specimens graded MS, 67 or higher by PCGS or NGC, the two main coin grading services, these quarters have sold for upwards of $1,500 to $2,500. One particularly notable sale occurred in 2012 when a perfectly preserved specimen, graded MS, 68 by PCGS, sold for a staggering $6,000. Remember, this is a coin with a face value of just 25 cents. What makes collecting these error coins even more exciting is that they were released into general circulation. Unlike some errors that are caught before leaving the mint, these quarters made it into everyday commerce. That means anyone could have potentially received one in change from a grocery store or vending machine. There are stories of collectors who found these treasures in bankrolls, sometimes paying just $10 for a roll of quarters that contained a coin worth hundreds of dollars. The condition of these error quarters dramatically affects their value. Most found in circulation will show wear and might grade around XF, extremely fine, to a U, about uncirculated, which still commands $100 to $200. But for a coin in mint state, especially with full luster and minimal bag marks, the value climbs exponentially. A coin graded MS 65 might be worth $300 to $500, while an MS 67 could easily surpass $1,000. Now, here's a word of caution for all you collectors out there. These errors are among the most counterfeited modern coins. Some unscrupulous individuals have been known to alter regular Wisconsin quarters to add the extra leaf. One way to protect yourself is to have any potential find authenticated by a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. There's also an interesting story about how these coins were discovered. The first known example was found by a coin collector in Tucson, Arizona, who was sorting through rolls of quarters from his local bank. After discovering the unusual leaf, he contacted numismatic experts who confirmed the authenticity of the error. News spread quickly, and soon collectors across the country were frantically searching through their own quarters. The U.S. Mint estimates that somewhere between 20,000 to 50,000 of these error quarters may have been produced, which sounds like a lot until you consider that the Denver Mint produced over 450 million Wisconsin quarters. That makes the error coins exceedingly rare, occurring in less than 0.01% of the production run. These quarters have become so popular that they're now listed in the standard coin catalogs and price guides. They've transcended being mere errors to become recognized variants that serious collectors seek out to complete their state quarter collections. What's particularly fascinating about the Wisconsin quarter error is how it represents a bridge between modern coinage and the classic error coins of the past. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, mint errors were more common due to less sophisticated equipment and quality control. By the early 21st century, the U.S. Mint's advanced technology had made significant errors quite rare, which is why the Wisconsin quarter stands out so prominently. Another aspect that makes these quarters so intriguing is their accessibility. Unlike many rare coins that cost thousands of dollars just to enter the collecting space, these could theoretically be found by anyone. This democratic aspect of the error, the idea that anyone could check their change and find a valuable coin, created a mini treasure hunt across America when the error was first publicized. For all these reasons, the 2004 Wisconsin Extra Leaf quarter remains one of the most celebrated and sought-after modern coin errors. It combines rarity, mystery, significant value, and the thrill of the hunt, all the elements that make coin collecting such an enduring and rewarding hobby. The 2015 P. Roosevelt dime with the struck-through error. Now, let's move on to our second remarkable coin, the 2015 P. Roosevelt dime with the struck-through error. If you thought the Wisconsin quarter was intriguing, wait until you hear about this modern rarity that's caused quite a stir in the collecting community. In 2015, something extraordinary happened at the Philadelphia Mint. During the production of Roosevelt dimes, a small number of coins were struck through what appears to be a thin piece of cloth or fabric. This struck-through error created a unique, almost ghostly appearance on the affected coins, making them instantly recognizable to the trained eye. The story behind these error coins is fascinating. In the minting process, coins are struck by dies that impress the design onto blank metal discs called planchets. Normally, nothing should come between the die and the planchet. But occasionally, a foreign object, in this case, what experts believe was a piece of cloth or fabric, gets caught in the minting machinery and becomes part of the striking process. When this happens, the foreign material prevents the full design from being impressed onto the coin. The result is a coin with a blurred, muted appearance in the affected areas, almost as if the design is trying to emerge through a fog. On these 2015 P dimes, the struck-through error affects varying portions of the coin, creating a spectrum of error severity that collectors categorize and value differently. What makes this particular error so valuable is its dramatic visual impact combined with its rarity. While the U.S. Mint produced over 2.8 billion Roosevelt dimes in 2015, numismatic experts estimate that only a few hundred to perhaps a few thousand exhibit this struck-through error. That's less than 0.0001% of the total production, truly needle-in-a-haystack territory. Identifying these coins requires careful examination. On authentic struck-through error dimes, you'll notice portions of the design that appear flattened, less defined, or almost smudged. This is most noticeable on Roosevelt's profile on the obverse and the torch on the reverse. The affected areas often have a distinctive texture that's different from the rest of the coin's surface. Under magnification, you might even see tiny impressions of the fabric weave that was caught in the striking process. Now, let's talk about what these coins are worth. In 2016, just a year after these dimes entered circulation, collectors were already paying $500 to $1,500 for specimens with dramatic struck-through errors. By 2020, as awareness of these coins grew and their rarity became more apparent, prices had climbed significantly. Today, a well-documented 2015 P struck-through error dime in uncirculated condition can command anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000, with exceptional examples selling for even more. One particularly remarkable specimen, where the struck-through error covered nearly 80% of the obverse, sold at a specialized auction in 2022 for an astounding $7,200. Remember, we're talking about a coin with a face value of just 10 cents. The condition of these error coins dramatically affects their value, but in a different way than most collectible coins. While mint state grades are important, the primary value driver is the extent and visual impact of the error itself. A coin with a more dramatic struck-through area generally commands higher prices than one with a minor error, even if the latter has a higher technical grade. There's a fascinating story about how these errors were first discovered. A coin collector in Michigan was sorting through rolls of dimes from his local bank when he noticed something unusual about one of the coins. The portrait of Roosevelt appeared blurry and lacked detail in certain areas. Initially thinking it was just a worn coin, he examined it more closely under magnification and realized he had discovered something special. He sent the coin to PCGS for authentication, and it was confirmed as a genuine struck-through error. Word spread quickly through collecting circles, and soon people across the country were meticulously examining their 2015 dimes. Reports of similar finds began to emerge from various states, suggesting that the error occurred during a specific production run at the Philadelphia Mint. These struck-through error dimes have become particularly prized by error coin specialists. Unlike many error coins that require specialized knowledge to appreciate, these dimes have a visual appeal that's immediately apparent even to casual collectors. The ghostly, partially obscured design tells a story of something gone wrong in the normally precise minting process, a moment of chaos captured in metal. What's particularly interesting about this error is how it connects to the long history of struck-through errors in American coinage. Similar errors have occurred throughout U.S. mint history, but most historical examples have been lost to time or commerce. The 2015 struck-through dimes represent a modern chapter in this ongoing story of minting mishaps. The U.S. Mint, for its part, has never officially acknowledged this specific error, which is not unusual for modern mint errors. The Mint produces billions of coins annually, and while quality control is rigorous, some errors inevitably slip through. The Mint's silence on the matter has only added to the mystique surrounding these coins. Another fascinating aspect of these error dimes is their uneven distribution. They seem to have been concentrated in specific geographic regions, particularly in the Midwest and Northeast. This suggests that the error occurred during a limited production run, with the affected coins then distributed to specific Federal Reserve branches. For collectors, these 2015 struck-through dimes represent a perfect storm of numismatic desirability. They're visually striking, genuinely rare, historically significant as modern errors, and potentially valuable. They also embody the thrill of the hunt, the idea that a valuable treasure might be hiding in plain sight in your pocket change. If you suspect you might have one of these valuable error dimes, there are a few steps you should take. First, examine the coin carefully under good lighting, ideally with a magnifying glass. Look for areas where the design seems muted or blurry, particularly on Roosevelt's profile. Compare it to a normal 2015 dime if possible. If you believe you have an authentic struck-through error, consider having it authenticated by a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. These services can confirm the error and provide a protective holder that documents the coin's authenticity. Remember, as with any valuable coin, proper storage is essential. Keep your potential treasure in a non-PVC holder or flip until you can have it professionally evaluated. And whatever you do, resist the temptation to clean the coin. This can significantly reduce its value to collectors. The 1968 No-S Roosevelt dime, the proof coin that shouldn't exist. For our third and final treasure, we're going to explore what many consider the holy grail of modern dime collecting, the 1968 No-S Roosevelt dime. This isn't just a rare coin. It's a numismatic anomaly that defies explanation even decades after its discovery. First, let me set the stage. In 1968, the San Francisco Mint was producing proof sets for collectors, those specially struck coins with mirror-like fields and frosted designs that collectors prize for their beauty and precision. Every proof coin produced at San Francisco was supposed to bear the S mint mark, a small letter that identifies where the coin was made. It's a tradition dating back to the 1800s, and by the 1960s, it was standard practice for all proof coins. But somehow, impossibly, a small number of 1,968 proof dimes escaped the San Francisco Mint without their S mint mark. Let that sink in for a moment. These are official proof coins, struck on polished blanks with special dies, yet they're missing the single most important identifier that should be there. To understand why this is so extraordinary, you need to know a bit about how proof coins are made. The process is entirely different from regular circulation coins. Each blank is hand-polished before striking. The dies are specially prepared with frosted designs and mirror-like fields. The coins are struck multiple times to ensure the design is perfectly rendered. And crucially, the dies are inspected repeatedly during the process. For a proof coin to be missing its mint mark, a specially prepared die would have to have been created without the S, approved for use, installed in a press, and used to strike coins, all without anyone noticing the glaring omission. It's the equivalent of printing a book and forgetting the title on the cover. Numismatic researchers believe that only about 12 to 15 examples of the 1968 no-S dime exist today. Think about that. Out of more than 3 million proof dimes struck that year, barely a dozen lack the mint mark. This makes it one of the rarest modern U.S. coins in existence, far rarer than many famous 19th century rarities that command 6- and 7-figure prices. Identifying a genuine 1968 no-S proof dime requires careful examination. First, you need to confirm it's a proof coin, not a regular circulation strike. Proof coins have mirror-like fields and sharp, frosted designs. The coin should have a perfect strike with full details. Then, examine the area just above the date on the obverse. On a normal 1968 S proof dime, you'd see a tiny S mint mark. On the no-S variety, this area is completely blank. Now, let's talk about value. The 1968 no-S proof dime is a true numismatic treasure. In 2019, a perfect example graded PR 68 by PCGS sold for an astounding $48,000. More recently, in 2023, another specimen brought $56,400 at auction. Even examples in lower proof grades routinely sell for $25,000 to $35,000. This makes it one of the most valuable Roosevelt dimes ever produced, a modern coin worth more than many classic rarities from the 19th century. The discovery of this coin has become the stuff of numismatic legend. The first known example was found by a collector in California who had purchased a standard 1968 proof set directly from the U.S. Mint. While examining his coins, he noticed something odd about the dime. The mint mark was missing. Initially, he thought it might be a striking error or perhaps a filled die where grease or debris had prevented the mint mark from appearing. But closer examination revealed no trace of the mint mark whatsoever. The collector submitted the coin to the American Numismatic Association for authentication, and experts confirmed his suspicion. This was a genuine proof coin struck from dies that never received the S mint mark. News of the discovery sent shockwaves through the collecting community, and soon other collectors were frantically examining their 1968 proof sets. What makes this story even more remarkable is that the error wasn't immediately caught. These coins were packaged in official U.S. mint proof sets, sealed in plastic and cardboard holders, processed through quality control, and sold directly to collectors. Yet somehow, these glaring errors made it through every checkpoint. Over the years, theories have emerged about how this error occurred. Some numismatists believe that an unmarked die intended for Philadelphia, which did not use mint marks on regular issue coins at that time, was accidentally sent to San Francisco. Others suggest that a die preparer simply forgot to add the mint mark during the die preparation process. The U.S. Mint has never officially explained what happened, adding to the coin's mystique. The condition factor for these coins is fascinating as well. Since they only exist as proofs, they were never subjected to circulation wear. However, they can display various proof grades based on handling, spotting, or contact marks. A PR 63 example might be worth only $20,000, while a pristine PR 69 specimen could fetch upwards of $60,000. The difference of just a few minor imperfections can mean tens of thousands of dollars in value. Here's another intriguing aspect of the 1968 no-S dime story. It wasn't an isolated incident. In later years, other proof coins would emerge without their S mint marks. The 1970 no-S dime, the 1971 no-S nickel, the 1975 no-S dime, and the 1990 no-S cent. Each is rare and valuable, But the 1968 NOS dime remains special as the first and among the rarest of these proof mint mark errors. The hunt for these coins continues to this day. While most have likely been discovered by now, there's always the possibility that undiscovered examples remain in original mint proof sets tucked away in collections or inherited by people unaware of their significance. Every few years, another example seems to surface, often from someone who had no idea they possessed such a treasure. For collectors, the 1968 NOS proof dime represents the ultimate trophy, a coin that's both exceptionally rare and has a fascinating story. It's a reminder that even in modern coinage, true rarities can emerge, sometimes through human error, sometimes through chance, but always creating something that transcends its face value to become a historical artifact. If you're fortunate enough to find one of these dimes, my first piece of advice is to handle it with extreme care, by the edges only, preferably while wearing cotton gloves. Never clean it. Keep it in an inert holder and have it authenticated as soon as possible by PCGS or NGC. Remember, this is a coin potentially worth tens of thousands of dollars. Every fingerprint, every scratch can affect its value. And there you have it, coin enthusiasts. 3 dimes that defy their humble 10-cent face value to become numismatic treasures. From the mysterious Wisconsin extra leaf quarter that anyone might find in pocket change, to the ghostly struck-through 2015 dimes hiding in bankrolls, to the legendary 1968 NOS proof dime that stumped even the experts at the U.S. Mint. These coins remind us why our hobby is so endlessly fascinating. What connects these stories is the human element behind each coin. Errors and varieties aren't just technical abnormalities. They're moments where the precision of the minting process intersected with human fallibility to create something truly unique. They remind us that even in our age of automation and quality control, imperfection sometimes creates the most perfect collectibles. So keep searching those coin rolls, checking those proof sets, and examining your change. The next great numismatic discovery might be waiting in your pocket right now. Until next time, happy collecting, and remember, in the world of coins, it's often the mistakes that make history.